Welcome to Postcards to the Universe with Melisa Caprio. Do you believe in magic? What if you were told that all you had to do was get a little creative and work a magic spell to bring anything you can imagine into your life? Here on Postcards to the Universe, we will share manifesting, tips, postcards, creativity, abundance, and prosperity. Here is your host, Melisa Caprio.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Postcards to the Universe with Melisa, creating the life you crave. It's Wednesday. How are you guys doing today? I love Wednesdays. I love doing this show, and I'm super excited because I have my favorite returning guest today, Reverend Gregory Possman on. And Gregory is a psychic trance channel, and he's going to be channeling live here in the show. He's going to join me in just a few minutes. I want to say welcome to all my regulars. Thank you guys for listening to me every week. I really appreciate it, and I love hearing your thoughts about my show, that you like it and you like the guests that I bring on, so that makes me really happy. And if you're joining me for the first time, I want to welcome you. Thank you so much, and I hope that you become a regular listener to my show. And just an FYI to everybody, if you missed the show live, although if you're here, you're live, but if you missed the show live in the future, you can always find it on the replay. The show goes up on the replay, and it's on OMTimes podcast, and it's also on mine, Postcards to the Universe. I put the show on the podcast, so you can hear it anytime you want. So a little bit about me to those who are tuning in for the first time. I am an artist, I'm a photographer, I'm an author, and I have a book, and it's titled Postcards to the Universe, Harness the Universe's Power and Manifest Your Dreams. And in my book, I have 30 manifesting stories. People talk about what they manifested, along with photographs that I took. I took all the photos in the book of the contributors manifesting postcards. And a manifesting postcard is kind of like a little mini vision board. You create something that you want to bring into your life, you put it on a postcard, and you send it to me. So I shared 30 stories in the book. And I also include a bunch of writing exercises, and it helps us get clear on what it is we want to manifest. We're not always sure what it is we want, but there's a bunch of exercises on the main areas like love and money, health, career, and there's like so much more in it. So if you're interested in doing the inner work exercises and reading people's really cool stories of how they manifested what they put on their postcard, go to your favorite bookstore or online and purchase a book. And I keep asking each week on the show, and I will continue to ask for those of you listening to send me a manifesting postcard. If you don't know how to create one or what to do, you can find all that information on my website, postcardstotheuniverse.com. And it tells you how to make one, how to create one, and the address is listed on there too, to where to send it. And just let me know that you dropped one in the mail so I can expect it. For those of you who still like Facebook and like groups on Facebook, I have one. It's titled Postcards of Love, and everything that's on there is just uplifting. We're going to talk later in the show when things are being channeled about what's going on in the world, all the serious stuff that's going on. So I like to share uplifting things on my Facebook page, Postcards of Love. So each week I share a magical message. I call it magical messages, and I usually post them on Mondays. I put it on all the social media. It's an image of a manifesting postcard, and I have a lot of fun taking my time and figuring out how I want to photograph it. And it has an affirmation that I like to focus on because I think affirmations are really powerful to change our beliefs or help us shift our belief system. So this week's magical message is celebrate a bright future. And it's interesting because last night I was having a conversation with somebody, and I don't know, I think something kind of happens when you get to a certain age, where life feels repetitive. It's like the same thing, different day, over and over and over. And maybe we lose our joy, right? Because we have nothing to look forward to. So that was our conversation last night, is finding stuff to bring into your life to look forward to, right? Because we forget to do that, whether it's planning a vacation, a trip, starting a class, trying something that you've never tried before, and getting excited about your life, because we get so, marked down in all our responsibilities, we forget to do that. And we think like, oh, we know exactly what the future is going to look like, and we don't, and we forget to celebrate the things that are coming in our future. So we were talking about what things we could do to look forward to have something to look forward to. Because when you're young, you have your whole life to look forward to. And then you get to middle age and you're like, oh, got to go to work again tomorrow, got to do this, got to do this. And our lists of got to do's get so long that we forget to celebrate the things that we want to look forward to. So find something in your life that you can go out and do that brings you some joy that you get to look forward to, so you can celebrate a bright future. So I just wanted to share that thought with you guys. Maybe something to think about. Find something that sparks your interests. Get creative. Creativity is always great at doing that, right? Find something interesting. It's exciting being creative. So we love doing that. So try that. I don't know. Take a writing class, take an art class, take a painting class, ceramics, paddle boarding, whatever it is, whatever will bring you joy. And you can look forward to it. All right, so next week, I have a guest. Her name is Victoria Rader, and she's a possibility coach, transformational speaker, and she's the founder of You to Shine, which empowers entrepreneurs and spiritual seekers to manifest miracles. We love manifesting, right? By uncovering and solving our underlying hidden problems. And she has a best-selling book, and we're going to be talking about her book titled Prosper Me, the 35 Universal Laws to Make Money Work for You. We all want to make more money, and we want it to work for us instead of us working for it. So that's going to be next week. All right, so you guys who have heard Gregory before, you already know this, but if you're just tuning in for the first time, a little bit about my guest, Reverend Gregory Possman. He is a psychic trance channel, and he started in 1991, and he channels over 40 light beings, including Sananda, Archangels Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel, as well as Master Teacher Spirit Quan Yin, Mary, 5 members of the Council of Shambhala, and others. And he also channels the Pleiadians, Siriuns, and the Venusians. And Reverend Possman performs workshops throughout the world, and he offers recorded, channeled, private sessions by phone. I have had them, and they're wonderful. Highly recommend it. And he will be live channeling, like I said earlier today, and you can see what light being comes on, and he's going to tell us. And if you want to, he has a free channeled message that he releases at the beginning of each new month, and you can find that at his website, Gregory, Gregory, Possman, Possman.com. So you can hear that. You can sign up for that and see what free channel message for the month is for us. Welcome, Gregory.
Excited Thank you, Melisa. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I love when you're here with me. I know it's been a while. Gregory was here before the new year, and a lot of stuff is, been going on, right? It's been a roller coaster of a few months. So why don't you share a little bit, Gregory, about you and what's been going on with you? Everybody's been asking me, when's Gregory coming back? I'm like, he's coming, I promise.
Well, I appreciate that. That's wonderful. Well, Sandy, my wife of 30 years, died in July of 22, so she's been gone now for 9 months, and I'm learning to live alone and what the rhythm of life looks like with my 2 cats in the house here. Staying very busy. She was not only my wife, but she was my business partner, and she did a lot of the support work that I really, really appreciate. And the conclusion that I'm coming to is I think I love her more now than I did when she was alive, which is kind of sad in a way, but it's also true. And sort of a situation where you don't know what you had until it's gone. So that's happening, and it was fascinating that you talked about doing things in your life to look forward to, I'm right now in the process of designing a spiritual summer camp for adults. And I want to do that this summer here in the mountains of North Carolina, which is going to be a combination of a lot of fun things to do and a lot of channeling and spiritual and meditation. And so it's going to be a nice balance between all of that. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And on May 27th, I'm going to do a channeling about Mount Shasta, and that's going to be a Zoom, and that'll be 2 hours on the 27th, which is a Saturday. So that's what's happening.
Okay, so what Mount Shasta? What is that? What's that?
Well, Mount Shasta is a mountain in North California.
Yeah, okay.
It's in Northern California, and it is usually it's covered in snow. It's covered in snow from about the 1st of June until sometime around the end of September, so it's not easy to get to. And it is purportedly one of the more spiritual places. It's kind of like the Sedona area. It's considered to be very, very high frequency, very high vibration. And I believe that it's also a pinpoint for a lot of the extraterrestrial traffic that goes in and out of the Earth. And what I'm told is that it needs a good cleansing, and that's what we're going to do. So we're not only going to visit Mount Shasta, and I promise this to be the most affordable and the most convenient trip to Mount Shasta you'll ever take, because you'll be sitting in your easy chair watching everything that happens.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel like it's a point of connection between us and alien life?
Yes.
That's what
yes.
the
I
message
have
is
been
that you're
there,
getting.
and yeah, I've been there, and it's an amazing place, and the people that live there know it for that, and so it has a tremendous number of connections as far as the ETs go and human life, and I think it's a contact point. I really do, and I believe there are portals going in and out of it. We don't see those ships because they're able to shift and change them, and many of the extraterrestrials don't even use ships anymore, so that's kind of interesting, but that's another topic for another day.
Yes, I was going to say that's another topic for another day. So do you feel like, are you getting any messages from the angels of comfort for you right now about Sandy and everything? Like, are you hearing stuff or feeling stuff? Okay.
Yes, the latest thing that she's communicated, my sister's a medium, and my sister gets the messages. I just feel her presence. Okay. And what my sister tells me is my grief is so intense that I can't hear her yet. But when the grief subsides, and I've no idea when that will happen, but when it does, then I feel like I'll be able to hear the messages from her. In the meantime, I feel incredibly protected, and I feel like she is absolutely working very hard. And the dilemma that I had, and this is true for anybody who's lost anyone they love, the dilemma is if she's spending so much time and energy on the other side taking care of me, how can she possibly evolve in her own spiritual path? Well, the truth of the matter is, once a being gets to the other side, they are incredibly powerful, and they can do anything. So it's not either or, it's and both. And the other thing I want to share is that she made so much progress in her life, moving through addictions and all the changes that she made. I feel like she's an incredibly powerful being on the other side now. So when we think about what people have accomplished in their lives and all of the challenges they've taken on and the lessons they have learned, from what I understand, that's really how, when you get to the other side and the assessment is made of your life, it's a question of how much you accomplished and how much you moved through and how many lessons you learned. And that's sort of like how you get the grade of an A+ or a D or an F or whatever you get.
Whatever you get on the other side, right?
And that's not judgment. That's not meant to sound like, it's not judgment, because there is no judgment. Right. It's all, it's all considered like a review, and it's just a question of, okay, what did one accomplish and what needs to be done next. And so
Uh-huh.
that's, I believe, how it works.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that too, and I understand what you're saying about the messages. My mom is obviously grieving the hardest, losing, my parents, but especially my mom losing my sister. So my other sister, Sam, and I, we have lots of dreams about Tony. We've had visitations. I think we're a little bit, because not that we're not grieving, but we're not her mother, a mother losing their child. So my mom has that too. I think she's grieving so hard that she's like, why am I not like getting the same things Tony that you girls are getting? And I think it's what you just said about you with Sandy. It's just that you're grieving so hard that it's like blocking maybe receiving the messages that they want to give. I don't know. So I understand what you mean by that, going through our own grief right now. Because your Sandy died in July and my sister died June 25th. So very close to each other. Yeah, in 2022.
They were.
Yeah, so it's been difficult. It's like a roller coaster, and it's just, it's not easy. But I'm glad that you could still do what you do and that you could be here today. And I always ask Gregory, whoever he feels wants to come through, because whoever wants to come through, then obviously they have something to share with us. So I let it be chosen by spirit. So you told me that Archangel Michael is going to come through, and then the earth elemental Pan. Is he new for you, Pan?
Oh, no. Pan's been around for quite a few years, but he doesn't come through very often. And he may even be insulted that I called him a he.
Okay.
It's not a he or a she, it's an it. But that's how I refer to Pan.
Yeah, I do too, because, we want to label. It's hard for us humans not to label, right? Because it feels like so like an object. Doesn't feel like a spirit or a person. So I say he too. So Pan, please don't be insulted. And what is an earth elemental before we start?
I wish I had a better description. All I can say is, just like everything on the other side, it's energy. And it's an energy that has chosen to devote a tremendous amount of time and energy to the earth. Probably exists in and around the earth, but will also talk about its existence, I believe.
Okay.
So
okay. Well, I'll ask Pan then. So Pan is going to come first, and then if we have to go to commercial, then Pan can stay with us through commercial, come back on, and then Pan will let us know when it is finished, and Michael can come through. So how's that sound? Does that sound good?
Works for me.
Okay, anything else you want to say as Gregory now before you remove yourself?
I just want to mention a book that's been really helpful for me, for anybody who's lost someone near. It's called The Wild Edge of Sorrow. The Wild Edge of Sorrow, and it's been a tremendous comfort to me. So if anybody's lost someone, that's a great book to read. I wish I could remember the author's name, but I don't. But it's easily found.
Look it up.
It's very popular.
Okay, thanks, Gregory. Okay, whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Here we go.
Here we go.
We are the one called Pan, and we are grateful for the opportunity to be here. What is it that you wish to know?
Hi, Pan. Well, welcome. I'm so glad that you're joining us. I hear that you don't usually do this, so I'm excited to talk with you today. Is there something that you want people to know right now that you wanted to come through? Is there a message you want to share with us?
Absolutely. And the message is this. Many of you are terribly concerned about the state of the earth. You are concerned about the damage that is being done by humanity to the earth. What we want you to know is to think about the word resilience. The earth is incredibly resilient. And what you do to its surface, yes, of course, it affects the whole. You cannot cut a lesion in your skin and expect your entire body to ignore it, nor can you do that to the earth. But the truth of the matter is, the earth is filled with we elementals and devas and fairies and others, and each of them is dedicated to protecting the earth. And so it is important to understand that all of the scientific readings that are being taken about your earth, they are accurate. There is no question. We're not degrading or downgrading your scientists in their research. What we want you to know is that just like a human body, the earth repairs itself from the inside out. Just like a human body, the earth repairs all of its cellular structure, its vibrational structure. And when you look at the trends and the readings and the various scientific measurements, you begin to wonder if the earth can, in fact, heal itself. And the answer is yes, it can. So please, we are not asking you to involve yourself in further destruction of the earth. Of course not. That would not be loving. It would not be appropriate. And yet, at the same time, understand that the planet can and does heal itself, and we will assist throughout the rest of our existence, however long that is, in that process of reconstruction.
Thank you. How can hearing that, how can we humans help assist in that?
If each of you were to close your eyes for 1 minute each day, even 30 seconds, and allow the love in your heart to flow down through the feet, through the soles of your feet into the earth, you would be doing more and more and more than can possibly be asked for. For indeed, the planet responds to your love, and it is that love that will heal the planet. And of course, your left brain will kick in and say, how does that work? How is that even possible? Well, it is possible, and it does work, because remembering you came from light, and you will return to light. And at this moment, while you wear that physical human body that you wear, it is still a process of transforming light and sending it into the planet that assists in the planet's healing.
Oh, okay. I think we could do that for those listening, sending the earth love. We can all do more of that. Thank you for that. So, Pan, can you share a little bit about who you are, and for those hearing, what an earth element is for the first time? What is an earth elemental?
We are made of light, just like angelic beings are made of light. We do have the capacity to create form or image if it is our desire to do so. And we do that for human beings whose faith is so destroyed that they cannot believe in anything they cannot touch. And so, whatever image feels appropriate, once we have calculated within their mind what it is that they want to see, then we create that image and we appear to them. Sometimes they talk about it, sometimes they don't. But the truth of the matter is, it restores their faith in beings that are made of light. We do reside within the earth typically, but we can come through the earth's crust, and we can reside outside of the earth's crust when we desire to do so. We are also capable of guarding different forms of life. So for instance, if an animal is about to be destroyed by some sort of human construct, be it a vehicle, a bullet, or something of that nature, we are capable of stopping that destruction from taking place. Many are the hunter who have had a perfect shot at some kind of being they wish to destroy, and suddenly, for no reason whatsoever, the animal bolts, and it bolts because we have pushed it out of the way. And the shot is fired, but the animal does not go down. In fact, it disappears.
That's really interesting. Is that because it wasn't that animal's time? Because some animals obviously are hit by a vehicle or shot by a hunter.
It is because that animal has more to contribute, and the planet is not ready for its departure, and therefore we are sent to protect it. And we do so with a tremendous amount of commitment. We cannot be harmed, even if the bullet were to pass through the light that we are, which has happened on occasion. It does not hurt us in any way, shape, or form. We also have the capability of taking on mass. If we choose to take on a certain form, we are capable of doing so. It is only for a brief period of time. But again, if we chose to appear as an animal or a plant or a tree or something of that nature, it can be a little bit deceiving for you human beings, because first it was there and then it wasn't. Trees don't typically move. However, a human being might see us as a tree and then return to the spot, and suddenly there is no sign of the tree. You ask, of course, why we would do that. Perhaps it is so that the human being can enjoy the image of the tree, actually come up and touch it if they wished, and it would provide comfort to them. And then when they return, the tree is gone and they question their experience.
That's so interesting. So, Pan, would it be okay if you stayed with us while we take our commercial break? I just have a couple more questions that I want to ask you. Is that okay?
As you wish.
Okay, so let's take our break here, guys, just for a few minutes, and then we'll be back, and I have some more questions for Pan. Stay tuned.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free, ascendinghearts.com.
Hi, I'm Melisa Caprio from Postcards to the Universe, creating the life you crave. Do you believe in magic? What if I told you all you had to do was get a little creative and work a dream spell to bring anything you can imagine into your life? Well, guess what? I've got the spell for you. Postcards to the Universe, a global movement for manifestation, is a casting magical tool for you to use whenever you want. How does living in passion sound to you? Join me in my movement where you get to create in the magical playground. Let's think outside the box and do some playful conjuring. By casting out our desires with a manifesting postcard, we explore our hearts and allow the alchemy of our dreams to appear. And don't forget to tune in each week here on OMTimes Radio with my show, Postcards to the Universe, creating the life you crave at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I share tips on creativity, abundance, and prosperity, and you will be introduced to the coolest guests, trailblazers, mystics, and creatives who enrich our lives.
Imagine yourself being transported to India, to the banks of the Ganga and an ashram in Rishikesh. Visualize that you are welcome to satsang with an American sannyasi who shares the wisdom of her guru. Your visualization has manifested. Join Sattvi Bhagawati Saraswati for inspiration and transformation every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. The rainbow is God's promise of hope for you and me. And though the clouds hang heavy and the sun we cannot see, we know above the dark clouds that fill the stormy sky, hope's rainbow will come shining through when the clouds have drifted by. Teresa Caprio is the president and founder of Rainbow Guardian Inc., a nonprofit 501c3 serving the intellectually challenged / developmentally disabled, including autism. Teresa started the foundation in 1995 so she could help make a better life for her intellectually challenged daughter. Her dream is that the Rainbow Guardian will provide the necessary tools and education to help the public understand the special needs population, because it's often discarded in mainstream society. To find out more or make a donation in support, please go to www.rainbowguardian.org. Rainbow Guardian's special mission is to see these unique people live a happy, full life and have a future of liberty and equality.
Reverend Gregory Possman on. He's channeling right now Pan, the Earth Elemental. So, Pan, welcome back. Thank you again for being here with me. So, I have just a couple more questions, if you wouldn't mind answering. One is, so you're an Earth Elemental. So, the Earth Elementals there's a realm. I'm trying to understand, in my human brain, how this works. Is this the realm where the fairies are and that we hear so many stories about that many people don't believe is true, but of course I believe that it's true?
We have stated that we can spend yes, we can. Are you able to hear us?
Me?
We can.
Oh, okay. Did you hear my question? I'm sorry, my microphone may have been low.
We did.
Okay.
We did hear your question.
Okay.
You want to know basically how we live and where we live. You mentioned... Continue.
Yeah, basically that's the question. Where you live and if it's in the element with the fairies.
It is not so much where we live, it is how we live. Since we are light, and since we are capable of changing our form, typically we would not be visible to you human beings. However, when we choose to allow that to take place, as in the case of that which we mentioned before, when it is appropriate for us to show ourselves, we create that image. In the meantime, we are a part of the interior of the earth, and we are able to easily flow in and out of the earth. We do not need a vortex in order for that to happen. We can pass in and out of the earth crust, surface, or earth plane anywhere, anytime. That is one of the advantages of being light. And when you ask about fairies and you ask about divas and elementals, we are all extremely comfortable with one another. We see ourselves as companions. Perhaps you would use the word cousins. And so, different species, different forms, if you will, are simply a different frequency, a different vibration. It does not mean that we are different in terms of our makeup, as we are all made of light. However, the form that we assume can often look different. You are used to seeing fairies with wings, tiny little creatures that are made of light with wings and can fly. If that is the vision that you put in your mind, that is the vision that we will latch onto, so to speak, in your vibrational frequency of images, and then the fairies will show themselves in that form. They could just as easily show themselves as a whale or a dolphin or any other creature that exists on your planet.
Thank you. That helps. So my next question would be, is it possible for humans to see you and the fairies in your natural form?
It is not likely, but it is possible. It is not probable, but it is possible. And most likely you would see us in a dream, and we would be surrounded by some sort of earthly landscape, a waterfall, perhaps a forest, a desert, or perhaps even in the sky. Sometimes we show up as orbs in photographs. Sometimes we show up as flashes of light, columns of light, circles of light. We mentioned orbs. That is pretty much the same thing. But that is how we would show up in your photographs, because our light is so much brighter than the surrounding light from the sun or the moon or whatever it might come from, a star perhaps. And therefore, the instrument, the camera, is sensitive enough to pick up that light. And when it does, oftentimes you believe them to be extraterrestrial in nature, but rather they are divas, fairies, or elementals from within the earth. We do not stay in the earth all the time. We very much enjoy traveling outside the core or the surface of the earth. And sometimes we enjoy accompanying you on some of your hikes and walks through nature.
Thank you so much, Pan. I hear myself having an echo. Sorry, guys. So, Pan, is there anything else you want to share with us before you go?
Trust your existence on this planet. You too are protected. We are with you, whether you feel us or not.
Thank you.
The Archangel awaits. We will allow for his entry into the messenger. We are grateful for this time together. Greetings, we are the one called the Archangel Michael. Some call us Michael. You can call us whatever you like.
Oh, thank you, Michael, for being here. So I'm just going to give you the mic since I'm echoing and let you share with us what you want to share.
As you wish. It is important at this point in time that we address some of the challenges and the issues on your planet. It is to understand that many of you have heard us speak of the divine blueprint, and you question whether the divine blueprint is in the process of being completed. Understand that even on this day, the Man Ashid channeled a process for a group, and that group will carry out that process. And it is the process of accelerating the divine blueprint. And it is to understand that when you see the skirmishes that occur on the planet, and we apologize for our use of the word skirmish, we refer, of course, to the Russian-Ukraine conflict. You call it a war, and that word carries with it a certain perception of a tremendous amount of destruction. But the truth of the matter is this: there is a great deal of angelic protection taking place in that particular skirmish or conflict. And the destruction that would take place if it were not for our intervention would be probably 10 to 100 times worse. And that is no excuse for what is taking place. We are not asking you to excuse it. Of course, many of you can feel the pain and the destruction that those who are going through that process based upon their location on the planet are experiencing. And yes, it is awful, it is challenging, it is difficult, and it is filled with grief. It is important, however, to understand that those who are experiencing that are allowing themselves to move through a lesson in their lives. And of course, they do not understand why such destruction must take place in their home, in the place where they live, or to their physical body, or to their loved ones. To understand, it is a kind of karmic reversal, and the lesson they are learning is important. And it is to understand that the pain that all of you feel as they go through this pain is shared by all. One could say that your community, the population of the earth, is able to feel that pain, and they are able to share it, and they are able to grieve together. Just as a family might grieve the loss of a loved one, an entire village or community can grieve the loss of those who have been taken from them. If it is any consolation, remember, there is no death. Death is an illusion. It is a myth of sorts. And each and every one of you experiences perhaps the loss of someone, and eventually the loss of your own human body. And yet, the spirit, the soul lives on into infinity. Energy does not ever be destroyed. It is only transformed into another form of light. And then it takes on perhaps a different set of properties, a different energy, a different frequency, a different vibration. And it lives on in the memories of those who had contact with it when it was in its human form. We ask you to remember that. We ask you what question you might put to us now. We can hear you quite clearly.
Okay, good. I'm glad about that, because I can hear myself, which is, yeah. Go ahead, I'll let you finish your thought.
It is important also to understand that in those moments of desolation, despair, and grief, remind yourself that you are not alone, even if there is not another human being nearby. There are so many light beings surrounding each and every one of you. Your council, for instance. You call it your guides, your teachers, the members of the star constellations, the star people, the extraterrestrials of a higher intelligence. They are always surrounding you. And it is important to remember that it is typically in the silence that you will hear the message they have to offer. And that is a key. It is said that when you are praying, you are not listening. You are speaking to the Creator. And when you are meditating in the silence, you are listening to your soul, which of course is the Creator. And that light the Creator represents is an amazing force. It is an amazing energy. And when you are silent, especially in places of nature, you have the opportunity to hear or to see impressions in your mind, to possibly hear the words or the voice of the Creator, even if it is nothing more than the wind blowing on your cheek. That is said to be the voice of the Creator.
Thank you, Michael. I have a question about gun violence, especially here in the United States. Every day there seems to be another mass shooting here. And what can we do about it? And what is the message here for us all collectively?
There are several answers on several different levels. And the question that you ask is, why does it appear that innocent people are gunned down by these weapons? Mm-hmm. And part of the reason is perhaps their time on this planet is done. In other words, they have learned all that they can learn here. And that is one of the ways that they make their transition. Because their physical body is perhaps healthy, and it would take years and years for them to die of a natural cause. There is also the lesson of loss, that those who are survivors after those people have passed on and moved on, that is something that they must learn. They must learn how to handle the grief. They must learn how to handle the sorrow. And in doing so, they find great strength within them that they would never have found otherwise. As far as the perpetrator, the shooter, as you would call them, there is no question that in most cases they are mentally disturbed, imbalanced, and therefore their anger is taken out on those who are innocent. And there is no way to justify or validate that process. However, as best you can, allow yourself to see some sort of positive come from it, and to understand the way you avoid it happening to yourself is to allow yourself to spend a few moments generating peace around you rather than fear. Peace is born of love. It is not born of fear. Fear, of course, perpetuates the kind of energy that allows that situation to occur. So allowing your heart to be surrounded by the white light of love, and each of you can do this for a few moments now. Simply close your eyes and imagine a beautiful white light entering into and around the heart center. And breathe that white light into your entire body. Imagine it as love. Imagine it as peace. Imagine it as protection. And breathe. As you do that inside your body, you are also generating it outside the body, into the morphic field or the egregore or the auric field, whatever you wish to call it. And in the process of doing so, you are sharing that with a tremendous number of others. Allow yourself to breathe that white light into your body and share it with yourself. Because what it will do is it will drive the self-hatred that is experienced by so many human beings out of your skin. It will drive it out of the auric field, and you will generate more and more peace. It is difficult for us to say the following, but we must. The presence of Pan in the man's body took a great toll on his energy. He is not used to maintaining that energy for that period of time. And therefore we know it is a bit early, but we must give him his physical body back. And he will be able to speak with you for a few moments if you have some more questions.
Thank you, Michael.
You are most welcome. We are the Archangel Michael, and we are grateful for this time with you. So be it. I'm back.
Are you okay? Are you all right?
I'm fine. Yes, I'm okay.
Yeah, he said that you were getting tired. Pan took up a lot of your energy. And I don't know what started to happen is I started to have this echo. So I've just been letting them speak. But you don't have it, but I have it. I don't know why.
Well, your microphone was a little difficult to hear, so I just turned up the volume in it, and there was no problem. So.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you can hear me. So I was asking, do you know what I was asking, Michael?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, okay. That's so crazy to me. Can you tell people how that works for you? Because for those listening for the first time, and like I said, I have a little bit of an echo, so how you just, where you go and what all happens when your body is taken over by whomever you're channeling.
Well, typically it starts with a deep breath, and I breathe in, and then I literally hold my breath until something happens. And sometimes nothing happens on the first breath, so then I exhale and I hold it again. And usually by the second or third breath, whatever energy is going to come into me has already done so. Most of them I'm used to. I'm familiar with their frequency. And if I'm not familiar with their frequency, if they're a new energy, I kind of sit with it for a few moments. It's only seconds, it's not minutes. And I just kind of monitor what it is that wants to come through. And if it feels comfortable, then I allow it, but I can stop it. I have control over my body for that period of time. And then once it comes in, it oftentimes identifies itself. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it remains anonymous. But I can tell whether it's a benevolent energy or a malevolent energy. Now, in contrast to that, I also cross over ghosts. So I allow spirits to come into my body, and that's an entirely different experience. That usually involves some tetany, where my muscles tense up incredibly. Oftentimes there's a really strange expression on my face, and it's not pleasant to have them in my body. But the good news is usually there's I don't let that happen when I'm alone. There's always a human being with me, and they can talk to them, and they talk them into crossing over. In other words, there's some reason why they don't want to cross over. And once they're in my body and they can communicate with the other human being that's there, then there's a conversation about why they have not gone over into the light, and then they do. And usually the good news is usually it's very fast. It doesn't take very long for that to happen. As far as where I go, I wish I could tell you. I don't know. It's a realm where there's just a ton of love. It's very, very healing. And as a matter of fact, it almost feels like I get a healing every time I channel. When I first started doing this, I was not happy with my life, and I wanted to channel every moment of every day because it was a form of escape. It's not so much a form of escape anymore. It's more what I do. So it feels a bit different. And there are I believe that every human being is a channel of some sort. Mothers channel very loving energy to their children. Artists and musicians channel their craft, what they do, the energy that drives them, their ambition. And people oftentimes get messages for other people, and they really don't know where they came from. And that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's a form of conscious channeling. So I believe that everybody's a channel. It's just a question of what you channel. And It's a fascinating process. It's an amazing. It is really an amazing gift, and I have to say I underestimate it. I kind of I think about it like brushing my teeth. It's something I do every night.
Yeah, it is an amazing gift. It's wild when I'm talking to like Pan or Michael. Like that's why I asked you about Michael. I was asking about gun violence, and it's just like, and you're not even aware of what I'm asking him. It's crazy.
No, I didn't know that was the subject. I had no idea.
But I'm glad you do what you do. I love having you. And I don't know what happened with the mic, but at least you got to hear Michael and Pan. So that's all I really care about. And Gregory, I love having you on. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's truly an honor, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
Go to his website, GregoryPossman.com, and May 27th, a Zoom channeling. So check it out. Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening to Postcards to the Universe with Melisa, creating the life you crave. Wishing everyone a wonderful week filled with joy, abundance, and love. Peace.